Brainstorming is exactly what the term suggests, that you storm your brain, you basically pick on your brain for words, clues, etc., that would not escape your brain without the storming. So they may or may be obvious words, but you may not be thinking, you may not be thinking about it. So in a group, what happens is that you there's a stimulation level, and if there's a deadline, then that's a great incentive to sort of think, think and put stuff together. Now, the words that you think become part of your resources, particularly in a group that comes from different parts of the country, they are culturally diverse, that think differently, have a mind of their own. And they say Indians are argumentative lot, so everybody thinks he's got something to say. So, that's not true. For example, in Singapore, it's horrifyingly engineered, socially engineered. I couldn't have we're supposed to have a set of brainstorming sessions in November at the centers of excellence, and I'm really keen to see whether the students, come out with words, because they're basically beholden to speaking only when asked to speak, and they keep quiet. While that is generally true in our social environment, but in our academic environment and in other environments, you speak your mind, right? You can see that media, it's one of the most active medias in the world for sure. Much too spunky, I have to say, on occasions. So the things to remember during brainstorming are the following: that brainstorming is a very free process. During brainstorming, you should not feel shackled by peer group pressure or lack of intelligence or excessive intelligence pressure, pressure of intelligence from somebody else, etc., etc. You are a person, you have something to say, you're going to say that. What you need to remember are certain boundary conditions. In this case, the boundary condition is the problem environment, which is communication device for children so as to encourage developing respect for the environment. Within this, bearing this framework in mind, you can say whatever comes to your mind regarding children. This framework is the broad framework. You can think of something which someone else would not have thought of, and I've seen the outcome of a group speaking. Very, very interesting words come out where I wouldn't have thought of it or someone else wouldn't have thought of it. So that's actually the collective, the sharing domain that will give you all, that will generate all these resources. So first of all, remembering the broad framework. Secondly, brainstorming is a time when we do not criticize anybody's words, and therefore that leaves you free to say what you want to, so long as you stay within the boundaries. If you're talking about children in the context of developing respect for environment and building, and its outcome being a communication device or system, children, environment, communication are such wide, beautiful, they have great outreach. So I think you get the drift of what I'm trying to say, right? I was about to say you can't think of Anna Hazare, but you can, because he's been doing this, watershed. Saint. You could, because we have saints who talk ball bearings. You probably won't think of ball bearings, right? You probably won't. Maybe someone will and say, well, I thought of something which requires ball bearings. So, okay, that's being argumentative, okay, but you get the drift of it. So you come out with these words, you've got a framework, you do not criticize, every word has its legitimacy, because you're saying the word thoughtfully, but with a great sense of freedom. You know what I'm trying to say? That balance that you, but feel free, just come out with a word, once you, hold the boundary inside yourself, you'll see how free you'll feel, and you do not have to fear anybody, because everybody, it's game for everyone, okay? We will also invite scribes. You usually have a scribe, a couple of scribes, who will come up to the board and will represent the words that you're throwing at the group. It's like slapping them onto the board so that we can all see the words, and it takes a form of its own. And when the words are being written there, they are written almost as chaotically as they are being spoken, not in any order, because it's not meant to have an order. If you put it in order, it would be misleading. So it just needs to be slapped onto the wall, okay. Now, because and so we will repeat that process for starting with children, then we will do environment, and then we will do respect. These are the 3 words we will brainstorm. We won't do communication, because then it will take a lot of time, and so once we okay, so the scribes who come in, we'll invite a couple of 3 scribes to come over, are those whose handwriting is slightly legible, you can kind of make out. And of course, you have to be very enthusiastic, because you're kind of, you're carrying the words that come out of your group, and they're sacred. These words have to go on the board. So every word is treated with care. So we do the brainstorming, and then we move on into card sorting, information structuring through card sorting. How that happens, we'll come to when we get there. So may I invite a couple of scribes to come over to the board to do the writing.